Blog Talk Radio.
Anointing. How many need God's anointing? Let it rain on me.
Let it rain on me.
Anybody want God's blessing? Can you pour out your blessings on me? Let it rain. Healing. Somebody came in here sick tonight. But by His stripes you are healed. Let it rain on me. Oh God. Power. Somebody need God's power. Whatever you speak out of your mouth is going to come to pass. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Glory to God. Thank you, Lord. Let your Holy Spirit fall. Sing voices of faith. We want it today.
Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing great. So before we get started, I want you to share with the listeners just a little bit about Coach Beverly.
Well, first, good morning, everyone. My name is Beverly Johnson. I am located in Huntsville, Alabama. I have been involved in fitness going on 10 years now. No, going on almost 12. Over the years, I've earned my certification as a personal trainer with an elite trainer designation, wellness coach, nutrition coach, group fitness coach. So I am in a space where I've almost literally seen it and done it all.
Wow, that is amazing. And being healthy and wellness is very, very important in our life. I tell you, I've been on this spiritual journey, and with this spiritual journey, I've been focusing on my health. And I tell you, health plays a very, very vital part our very daily functioning. And today, I want you to share with the listeners some healthy tips, because I know me, I'm coming up on my 46th birthday, and I'm trying to get healthy. Trying to change my lifestyle, trying to make some lifestyle changes. I want to know some good, healthy lifestyle changes that you suggest that we can make to take back our power and walk in our health.
Well, first, I want to congratulate you on your wellness journey and your upcoming birthday, because it is indeed a blessing to celebrate a new year. And I will say, once we make the decision to become healthy, it is a thing that I've seen over the years where it's a twofold twin of fear, because there's the fear of letting go and the fear of embracing. Because when I say the fear of letting go, there comes a point where we have to address our traumas, our habits, our associations. And when you get to that space, it can be overwhelming. Because when I talk about fitness, I talk about it in the lens of your emotional, your spiritual, and your physical health. Because all three of those aspects impact your daily decisions. So if you wake up and you don't feel that you're worthy of making an investment in yourself, you're not going to do it. If you feel that you are plagued with other stuff going on in your life, then we automatically push ourselves down at the bottom of the list when it comes to fitness, where if I ask you what your ideal house is, you can tell me. If I ask you what your ideal vacation is, your car, you can spit that off right at the top. But if I sit down and ask you to describe your best life for yourself, not in terms of materially, we struggle with that because those are things that we never thought about. We'll just automatically out the top say, I want to be happy. But then if I ask you to peel back the layers of what happy looks like, it looks nothing like what your general statement says. Because if I ask you where I want to be happy, you'll start describing being debt-free, spending time with your family, losing weight, having resources to travel. So then, as you didn't realize, you have established what your goals for your life really are in that space. And so rather than pursuing the general topic of being happy, I often encourage my clients to set goals that then create the life that you want. And so when I encourage my clients to start focusing on fitness, the first thing we establish are, what are your goals? And when you establish your goals, then that becomes your why. Because I will tell you, you will never feel motivated every day to go to the gym. No one wakes up on a Monday morning and says, I get to go to the gym and sweat off my eyebrows, sweat out my hair, because it's an exciting thing to do. But when you wake up with a sense of your why and your purpose to go, I have been given an assignment by God that God has blessed me with, and I have to be mentally, physically, and spiritually prepared for it, then it changes your lens on how you approach your day. So I encourage everyone, first and foremost, go ahead.
You touching on some great nuggets. Like, you touching on some great things. Like, literally, when the word for the month is help, and you touching on it and probably don't even know it, but that word, when I broke that word down, the H stands for being healed, empowering others to live empowered, and that's exactly what you're doing. You are helping people. And
well, thank you.
Oh my God.
Go ahead. And I had to look back in my own journey where I've been very vocal that I'll tell anyone that, after my divorce, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I was in such a deep grieving process that from that I gained 30 pounds. I didn't even look the same because there was so much unhealed grief in my spirit that I didn't realize I was walking under it. I didn't know I was in survival mode. I didn't know that my choices were reflecting the grief that I was sitting in. I was just literally waking up every day numb, getting up, go to work, do what I'm supposed to, come back home, eat, sleep, repeat. And so many of us walk in that space of being numb to just going to the grind. And when someone asks you, what are your goals? What do you want for yourself? You get offended. Or you'll take it as an attack because that usually means there's an unhealed trauma sneaking up on you that's asking for you to address it. And when you're trying to go through your fitness life, I see so many people, they walk in and they tell me what they want. They tell me emphatically what I want to accomplish. But then when I ask them, what are you willing to sacrifice to get it, they get defensive because you can't be ready to embrace the new and not let go of the old. It doesn't work that way. So if you're telling me that you are more aligned with not giving up the whatever your favorite meal is, not willing to give up the latte or the frappuccino with 600 calories in order to embrace the new, that's very telling. So one thing I first encourage all my clients to do is that when it's time for you to walk into your new season, you have to be willing to let go of some of your old habits. because you can't straddle the fence and say, I'm going to embrace the new season that God has for me, but I'm still going to stay connected to the old stuff that's breaking me. And in so many spaces, I've seen that where I want this. Okay, well, what are you willing to do to get it? And it's like, well, I don't know. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And it's not going to work. So the first thing we have to establish is, one, what are your goals? Two, if you're hanging on to habits that aren't healthy, are you ready to let them go? Because I often tell my clients, are the habits that you're going through every day going to get you what you need on the other side? And if the answer is no, you have to be ready to let that go. And it's in that number two that I find most people have the greatest resistance, where when we're sitting going down and you're telling me from the nutrition standpoint, based on what I see your daily diet, there are some adjustments you have to make because you're not going to accomplish your goals on this path. And when you start getting combative with me, saying that, but I eat this every day, I do this, that, and the third, I have to look at you and go, well, when you're ready to make the decision to let go, we'll revisit this conversation. Because there are certain things that no one can force you to do. When you have a made-up mind, you become unstoppable. And it's not until you have a made-up mind that none of your goals will fall into place.
You said something major right there. And it all comes with your mindset and how you and what your beliefs are and how you're going to shift it. It's totally up to you. We don't realize the power that we possess on the inside and how we can maneuver and how we can shift how things are going in our life. We wonder why we're going through things. But then we stay in the same circle. You said something about you touched on changing and not willing to change. You won't change, but you're not willing to do the things that you're supposed to do to get the change. So you put in the same thing, you're going to get the same thing out.
And that is the part I will say out of all the years of being in this industry, probably the most frustrating thing for all trainers, coaches on this side, where I can almost tell when someone has come from the doctor and they have been given the dreaded, you gain weight, you're pre-diabetic, you're going to be on high blood pressure medicine. I can almost tell when you come from the doctor. Because in that space, there's this sense of urgency where you need services like that today. But somehow between the first conversation and the appointment for the consultation, that urgency disappears. All of a sudden it becomes, I'm not going to worry about it, sis. And it's like, well, you were in a space of panic yesterday. What happened to that urgency today? But sis, I'm just not going to worry about it. But then I look at it in the lens that to walk into your power and your purpose is to understand that you first, if you can't control your habits, you can't ask God for the load that he's preparing you for. If you can't make up the decision that you can't control you, it's hard for God to say, well, you know what, I'm going to bless you to lead people. Because you can't control, you can't lead yourself.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, I had to make that I had to, because in 2019, I was faced, they was wanting to put me on 2 different blood pressure medicines. And I have the constant reminder in my cabinet. I keep it in my cabinet so I can look at it. But I check my blood pressure. I just checked it. It's 112/82. And I haven't even did my morning walk yet.
Well, that's great.
So I refuse to take the medication. So I said, you know what? It's time for Angela to make a change. So I had to make a change. I started watching my meat intake, and it's times when I can go months without even eating meat. And when I do eat meat, it's maybe fish or salmon, or I might eat chicken every now and then. But I rarely, and it has to be like a taste for it. But I don't even have the urge for it like I used to. But it's all about what you set your mind to. And I was the type of person, I thought I had to have a soda every day. I thought I had to have a Mountain Dew or a Pepsi every day. So when I set my mind to it and say, oh, no, I don't need this, and I gave it up. And everybody that know me know I used to smoke cigarettes. And I said, no, I can't be destroying my temple like this. And I just cold turkey stopped. But I know every process is different for everybody. But you have to make up in your mind that you want to do this.
Mhm. And so when I've learned over the years where I have people come in, they're like, well, tell me some things I have to do. It's like, well, what are you doing right now, though? Because if you're not doing the basics of caring for yourself, and when I say basics, I mean drinking water, watching your intake, changing your diet. If you haven't gotten to the point that you realize that you are worth doing that, it's difficult to say, well, here's some other gems. Because if I'm arguing with you saying that, no, really, you need to drink water, and you're looking at me like, but I drink sweet tea. And I'm like, no, really, you need to eat more vegetables, but I don't like vegetables. And after a certain age, to say you don't like certain vegetables isn't the look. At a certain age, we have to mature our palates, where as our bodies change, we can't survive off. You can't eat the same way at 22 at 42. So you're not going to make it. Because at 22, we could eat, drink, run ragged all day, all night. At this age, let me not get at least 6 hours of sleep. I may have to call out of work the next day. Because as your body changes, your needs change. And we have to recognize that we have to give our bodies what we need. And that's a balanced diet, that's sleep, that's emotional and mental wellness, and that is exercise. And so when people and clients ask me, what's the secret sauce? That's the secret sauce. Making the investment in yourself.
And making up your mind.
It all starts with a made-up mind. And when I got on that scale and that nurse slid that little thing down and it didn't come back, that was the day for me that I decided I'm taking my power back. I'm delivering. I'm letting go of my hurt. I'm letting go of my trauma. And I had to give myself the courage and permission to address what was going on with me on the inside. Because in that space, I came to a realization that as I was gaining weight, as I was hurting, no one said a thing to me. But the moment I started losing weight, sis, are you okay? Sis, is everything fine? Are you okay? And I'm like, well, where were you when you all literally saw me eating myself into sorrow?
To death.
Where were you when you saw my habits changing? But now here you're coming wanting to do the sis as I'm slowly getting my power back.
That's it. Power. Power. That's what that word right there. Your power. And that's what they need to understand. You touched on some major things. Like you gotta get healed. Whatever you're going through, whatever is causing this, you gotta move past it. You gotta heal. That's what the H is for. Help. You can't do it alone. Mm-hmm. People like you are here to assist. Heal and empower. And go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
And what I've grown to realize is that when people get into a space where you're coming to a coach, the biggest roadblock is we have been, because of traumas that we have endured by other people, When you get into a space where you actually need help, you're scared to let your guard down. You're scared to be vulnerable to people that can genuinely help you. And so I've had women sit across from me, and I can feel the grief on your soul. I can see the toll that is taken. And you're sitting there telling me, I'm fine. And you're like, are you sure? Because you can't hide numbness. You can't hide the grief. You can't dress it up. You can't walk around with a face that's beat all day. You can walk around with the most expensive handbag, but your energy and your spirit will never lie.
Never.
And so when you're sitting there and I'm looking at you going, so what is it that's on your mind? Girl, I'm fine. I'm good. Are you sure? Beautiful, because something seems to be troubling your soul.
Wow.
And it's not until you realize part of the process is coming in as a vessel willing to let go of the negative, willing to let go of everything else. The exercise is the end result. But like you alluded to, it's the mindset that has to get you there first.
Amen. Amen. I definitely want those that are tuned in and those that will hear this replay to be able to reach out to you and to be able to follow you. Could you please share with them how they could follow you, your social media links?
Oh, absolutely. If you have enjoyed today's nuggets, I encourage everyone to join my Facebook group called The Fitness Divas. Divas spelled D-E-V-A-S. We would love to have you a part of our tribe. If you are on Instagram, you can find me at Bev K. Johnson, BEVKJOHNSON. If there's anything that I can do with partner with you to help you achieve your goal, definitely reach out to me at info@BeverlyKJohnson.com.
Amen. I tell you, I have truly been blessed by you. I follow you, and I tell you, if y'all have not come across her, this is a beautiful young lady, very, very fit. And I tell you, I've had the opportunity to interview her. Amazing woman. So I urge you guys to please check her out, follow her. If you're on a journey to a healthier you, and if you just want some fitness and wellness tips, if you're trying to lower your blood pressure, trying to just get healthy, please feel free to reach out to her. I tell you, I have enjoyed this 30 minutes of power. Before we leave, I want you to share something with the listeners that will encourage them on this journey this week to walk in their power.
You know, as I'm sitting here listening to you, this just dropped in my soul that for someone that's sitting there going, it's too late, it's not too late. It's not too late, and you're not too old to start again. Just because you're in a different season of your race doesn't mean that your assignment and your purpose has passed you by. God has wasted nothing in your life and nothing in your season. So there's no reason to allow fear to stop you from starting over again. Because this time, you're not coming into your season as a beginner. You're coming in with experience. So it is not too late for you to get up and fight for your power. It may be uncomfortable at first because you never walked in it. But this season, you can take your power back. And because you're worth the investment, you're going to shine.
Wow. I want to thank you so much for stopping by and sharing with us. I tell you, I have truly been blessed. I hope that you have an amazing day and an amazing week.
Thank you. You too.
So yes, ma'am. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Please tune back in next Monday, same time. I love you guys, and I thank you for tuning in to Monday half-hour Motivation with the Queen. See you guys next Monday. Be empowered.